Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode, Wednesday episode. I gotta figure out a name for it, honestly. But I am Bucks Football, the number one Buccaneers fan page on Instagram. And today, I have brought on a very special guest with me. He does some draft stuff for us on the page. He also does some other posts. But, ladies and gentlemen, here is Riley Auman. How you doing tonight, Riley?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. So, first off, I just wanted to to get to know you a little bit. So, where can fans find you?
Like I said, I'm associated with you guys on Instagram with Bucks Football. Also on Twitter is at Junior Almanac. That's JuniorAumanac. And that's about all the social media I do.
Yeah, and if Bucks fans, if you have Twitter, go follow the fan page, but also follow Riley because I'll tell you what, some of his tweets are absolutely awesome. He's got great knowledge and everything, and you're only what 13?
Yeah.
That's awesome. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna give a little review of the Raiders game. So Riley, what did you think of how the Buccaneers performed against the Raiders, and what were your final thoughts from that game?
I thought that they did a good job of staying in the game with a team that's probably a playoff team right now, and a team with a good chance to make the playoffs. Derek Carr's probably an MVP front runner for most people right now. And although they didn't keep him in check and he was AFC Offensive Player of the Week, I felt like they kept the running attack in check. And I feel like as a whole there was some things that were left to be desired. But I felt like they still kept themselves in the game with a potential playoff team, which is good to see.
Yeah, definitely. What were your thoughts on, just not being able to overcome all those Raider penalties? I mean, they set a record, and just how do you think what do you think happened to the offense there? Because what they run 9-10 plays in overtime?
Yeah. You figure they get that big possession, 8-point possession to tie it back up at 24 with a couple minutes left in the fourth quarter, and then their next 3 possessions are all 3 and out. So it's just they did a good job of keeping themselves and getting themselves back to an even game. But once it was an even game, they really couldn't capitalize on much at all. So that's not a good sign. But when you consider that this team is missing a bunch of its weapons, Doug Martin, Jacquizz Rodgers was injured for much of the second half of this game, and we're still missing Vincent Jackson and adjusting to some of the injuries we've had on the offense. I felt like Jameis, like I said, left some things to be desired as a passer. He missed some throws, he overthrew some passes, that sort of thing. But I'm going to keep reiterating, they kept themselves in the game, which is a good word.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the Raiders were 5-2 now, 6-2, and they're definitely I believe going to be a playoff team unless they have a huge collapse here, and that's always good. I mean, I guess the one positive about this is you did take a 5-2 team to overtime and almost beat them. But I think that the one thing that's on all Bucks fans' mind is that you should have beat them because, in my mind at least, they gave you almost every opportunity to win that game and just couldn't capitalize on it. So I heard Jacquizz Rodgers is also going to be out this Thursday against the Atlanta Falcons. Big divisional game, big game for the Bucks. If they lose it, you could probably kiss the playoffs goodbye because Atlanta would take a real chokehold on the South there, and it would be very tough to make the wild card. So what do you think the Bucks' plan is for running back for Thursday night?
I think they're trying to look for a running back by committee approach with Anton Smith, Mike James, and Peyton Barber. Barber had limited snaps on Sunday against the Raiders, but he showed promise against the 49ers with a 44-yard touchdown run. And I feel like they know the aspects that each player brings. They know that they can use Mike James as an in-between tackle runner and a power back. Anton Smith, even though he's 31 and doesn't have that same speed, he can still be a pass-catching back and a quick option. And then Peyton Barber can be your sort of speed back. So although you're missing your top 3 running backs from the start of the season right now, which sucks, but I think they're going to have a good goal and a good game plan for what they want to do with
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and just like you said, it really does suck. Both Doug Martin, Charles Sims, and Jacques Rogers, all in that order, have gone down this season. And Doug Martin, Bucks fans are hoping to get him back, but I mean, would there be any chance that they would put him on IR at all?
I think you almost view this week playing on Thursday as an extended bye week almost. Just with that added 4-ish days you get of recovery from normally practicing and having walkthroughs and games on Friday through Monday, really. So it's kind of an added bye week, and I think some of the bigger injuries you have on this team, like Jacques Rogers and like Doug Martin and like Clinton McDonald, I think they'll all be fairly healed and back ready to go for after an extended period of time they'll have after this game. It's just kind of, there's still negatives to playing this early, however, because you don't have those guys. Whereas I think if they were playing on Sunday, I think there'd be a more likely chance that you might see Doug Martin, you might see Jacques Rogers. But Jacques reportedly has his foot in a boot in the locker room. So he doesn't look like they ruled him out today. And I'm not sure if he's back a week from now. So that's all I'm going to put your thought on.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm not honestly sure if Jacques Rogers is back. All Bucks fans hope he is because, I mean, he was running very well, against the Panthers and against the Niners. And honestly, he had a couple nice runs against the Raiders, but you could definitely tell the Raiders keyed in on the run and were focusing to stop it. But, I mean, I think getting Doug Martin back, I think will help Jameis a ton. I mean, I've seen a couple screenshots where he's just missed guys, and I think he's trying to force things because he has less weapons. And that's what scares me about this game. Because, yes, we beat Atlanta in Atlanta week 1 to start off the season. But we had, at the time, Vincent Jackson, Charles Sims, who caught a touchdown, Austin Seferian-Jenkins, who caught a touchdown, and Doug Martin, who was had some good runs, but none of them guys are going to be playing on Sunday. Austin Seferian-Jenkins isn't even on the team anymore. So you take away Charles Sims' Austin Seferian-Jenkins' touchdowns, they don't win that game. So, I mean, yeah, I'm definitely worried about that. But I wanted to get your thoughts on the Buccaneers defense and how they would plan to stop Matt Ryan. I mean, Mike Smith is obviously very, very familiar with Matt Ryan. And it seemed like they had a good game plan for him week 1, but I just wanted to know, if you believe they would make any adjustments because, I mean, him and that offense has been just on fire these past couple of weeks.
Oh, definitely. And I think they've gained a lot more traction since week 1 in terms of picking up the steps that they'd like to run and kind of catching fire as a team. Matt Ryan's another guy who's probably put as an MVP front runner right now. Julio Jones is the best receiver in the NFL this year right now, in my opinion. So it'll be hard to stop them. But when you consider that the Falcons will be without Tavon Coleman this week, out with, I believe, a hamstring injury that he suffered last week, and he had almost 100 receiving yards against the Bucs in week 1, that's a good thing for them to not have to have. I feel like they'll rely heavily on Devontae Freeman for this game, just because I feel like, although I think this could be a rough game for Brayton Grimes, just because he did not do well against either Mohamed Sanu or Julio Jones in week 1, and I just don't think his confidence is maybe worn down a bit, and I don't think it'll be a very good game for him. So I think it will be a pretty high-scoring game, and both teams are banged up as a whole, especially on a short week. So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and I think it goes the same way with the Falcons. I think Dwight Freeney's out, Tevin Coleman's out, and I think if this was a normal game week and we were playing on Sunday, I think both of them would have a very good chance of playing. So just like you said, it has negatives, but it also has positives. And the positive is, yes, you get an extended period of rest time, and the other team has that same short week. So it's not like the other team, it's not like the other team is just waiting there for a whole while. They've had the same amount of time that you've had, and that really hurts with their injuries. But I just wanted to get your final score predictions here, and just who do you think's going to stand out? I mean, there's a couple guys, but then later on, in probably a couple minutes after we do predictions, we're going to pick one guy on offense and one guy on defense to be your MVP for this game. But how do you think it shakes out?
I think this is probably, you'd say that Denver and that Carolina game were season-defining games for the Bucks, but if there's a game that'll decide the season for the Bucks, it's going to be this game, because if they win this game, I believe they're in the lead for the NFC South because they have the tiebreaker, because they have the 2 wins against Atlanta, and they would both have 4 losses at that point. So I feel like this is a must-win game for the Bucks if they want to stay in contention for the playoffs or a wild card spot. Yeah, it'd be a huge win to get, because having that tiebreaker over Atlanta will be huge down the stretch if you have the same record, or even like a game behind Atlanta in the NFC South. But I'd probably say right now, like a Bucks win 31, like 20-24 maybe.
It's the exact same score of Week 1. I like it. I like it. I'm going Bucks win. I'm going to go 21-20, which I did post on the Instagram page earlier today. Normally, guys on YouTube would get it beforehand, but today is short week and all. I wasn't able to, so Instagram got first this week. But don't worry, you guys are going to be getting some more early stuff soon. But who do you think is going to be your offensive MVP for this game? Who do you think shows up and makes a difference?
This might be a little bit of an outside of the box pick, but I feel like Anton Smith, having been cut by this team, will show out as the best running back of the 3 guys who they'll be featuring this week, and will make an impact, maybe have a touchdown or 2, either in the passing game or the rushing game.
Wow, I definitely like it. Yeah, you definitely bring up a good point. He's got a little bit of a revenge game here. Definitely could see it. My offensive MVP, I'm going to go with Mike Evans. And Mike Evans has caught a touchdown against Atlanta Week 1 and a touchdown last year against Atlanta Week 13. And I think he's going to continue that dominance. I think he's going to catch another touchdown pass this week. I think the Buccaneers are going to be throwing it a little bit more because of the committee. And especially if they can't get the run going, they're going to definitely be throwing it Evans' way. I just hope Jameis doesn't try to force things like he was earlier in the year when he was throwing bad interceptions. And I think Mike Evans will have a nice day for himself with a couple of nice catches and a touchdown or 2. But who do you think's going to stand out on defense? I mean, there was a couple on Sunday, but they really needed the difference maker on Sunday when it counted, and they didn't get it. So who do you think's going to step up?
I think you'll see Noah Spence step up in this game. Although that the Falcons have one of the better offensive lines in the league, I feel like Spence can do a good job playing off of having Gerald McCoy and Robert Ayers on the defensive line and continue his momentum he had after having Dak fumble this Sunday against Oakland.
Oh, definitely, and I'm sure you knew I love Spence coming out of college, but I'm gonna go Robert Ayers here, and I think Robert Ayers is probably the second best defensive lineman on the field for the Buccaneers against the Raiders, but I think he's gonna show up. It's his first primetime game. I think he wants to give the fans a show, and I think he will. But that's gonna pretty much wrap up this show. It was just a quick preview and everything like that. So, Riley, do you have any final thoughts or anything you want fans to look at for this game?
No, definitely. Just enjoy the game. Last primetime game of the year, unless there's any schedule shifts down the stretch. So just enjoy it. Enjoy your team being on primetime. Definitely a memorable game. The first time they're on primetime this year. So just enjoy it. Try to pay attention to the big matchups of the game that you think will stand out. And just thanks for having me on the show, Rowan.
Yeah, definitely, man. And I thank you for coming on. Guys on YouTube, this has been the Wednesday show. I promise I will get a title. Hope you all tune in tomorrow night on NFL Network at 8:30. The game will start. And go Bucks.